Okay, let's break down SoFi quickly, guys, and go over a bunch of stocks here, companies that just reported earnings. Hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and let's dive into it. So, SoFi ended up having a green day. Hallelujah, right? 1.75% as every index in the US market. I mean, guys, you know this by now. We had a beautiful green day across the board. The Dow went up 1.25%. The Qs went up over 2%, guys. And this sun's hitting me literally in the face. Of course, right as I'm, starting to make this video, the sun is starting to set right through my window. I guess that might be a good sign. That might be a good sign. But the Qs, where was I? Had a 2.1% green day. SPY went up 1.4, and the Russell, guys, 1.5%. And by the way, 3 out of the 4 major indices here in the US hit all-time highs today. So unbelievable day. And again, SoFi had a green day. Let me pull it up and break down the charts here. Then we'll dive into these earnings. We have Coherent, ARM Holdings to break down, Dutch Bros, which, believe it or not, I'm a big coffee guy, but I've never actually went to Dutch Bros. Have you guys? I'm on the East Coast. That's probably why. I don't think they have any on the East Coast, at least to my knowledge. We have AppLovin, Snapchat, and Kratos Defense to go over as well, and we're going to run through those, not too in-depth. But yeah, SoFi, green day, but we still have a death cross here on the 4-hour time frame, which I'm not loving. That is a little alarming, in my opinion. It started to form, I think, earlier today. Yeah, I think earlier today we got that cross, which is bearish, and it's not the end of the world, right? It doesn't mean SoFi is going to $10, but it's a sign that we could be going lower based on just the moving averages. But you got to use a bunch of other indicators, fundamental analysis as well. You don't just rely on one indicator, right, guys? But that one is telling us we could see more downside, but at the same time, we are maintaining support at about $15.80, $16. So we're not completely, falling through the floor. But the second we actually take out, if we do, 15.80, 1550, we take out the low from after earnings. Guys, if we do that would not be good. That means, okay, we are now starting to really get bearish here, and we're going to go down to 1480 from there, in my opinion, and we'll probably take out the low. But we're not there yet. Although that one indicator is telling us we might go there, we're still maintaining $16, and, all the other signs, the fundamentals are good. All the other signs are strong. We're getting management buying. Anthony Noto bought. I don't know. I don't think he bought since after earnings, or maybe I missed it. But I know he bought a couple of times in this pocket right here, right before the pop. So, yeah, we're seeing good signs. And again, the fundamentals are strong, but man, the price action is just terrible. And the fact that we're not getting those interest rate cuts, I think that is holding the stock down more than people tend to think here or realize. And overall, this is a Head and Shoulders that I'm noticing, which I think I mentioned in the video yesterday, and that's still intact. So for me to get excited here for a breakout, I think I need to see it take out at least 17 to 1750, at least, right, guys? And the fact that we're maintaining trend here, that's a good sign. The bulls are fighting as well. I mean, don't get it wrong. They're fighting, putting up some higher lows here. But at the end of the day, man, the bears have the advantage here until, again, we take out 17 to 1750, in my opinion. And we're not there yet. I'm going to be patient. I have my trades ready to go. And you guys know I'm long SoFi as a long-term investment, but I'm looking to trade it on that breakout if and when we get it. So let's go over some earnings now. Let's go over Coherent, a bunch of these other ones. So I think Coherent is taking a beat down. I did see the chart a little bit ago. Coherent had a 3% green day, but now it's down a good chunk after the bell. We're down about, let's see, percentage-wise, 9.5%, 10%. Yeah, right around 10%, and about what, $33 down, so that's not ideal. That's on a double beat as well. We can see adjusted EPS came in at $1.41 versus $1.40 expected on sales of $1.8 billion versus $1.78 billion. So double beat, and they see Q4 adjusted EPS of $1.52 to $1.72 versus $1.53 expected on sales of $1.91 to $2.05 billion versus, okay, $1.91 expected. So maybe, guys, look, the numbers were good. Whenever I see a company report double beats, strong guidance, and the stock goes down, what that tells me is, okay, maybe the stock was just priced to perfection into earnings. And that's the reality here. Coherent's been on an insane run this year, guys. This stock was at, people tend to forget, it was at $65 a year ago. I mean, this thing is now pushing $350, $60. It's insane. And look, they just got added to the S&P. We had a lot of forced buying here over the last couple of months, weeks. So again, there's been so much buying. It was priced to perfection, and we're getting the drawdown here. And the fact that we kind of failed to take out 350 to 360, well, we hit it obviously about 2 weeks ago. Now we failed to break out of it on this run. Now we're dumping back down. That does put the trend in jeopardy in the short term. We might see something similar to what we got here. I mean, look, we started making lower highs for a little bit back in, when was this? Let's see here, guys. Back in March into the early days of April, we made lower highs for about a month, lower lows as well, but then we started taking off again. So we easily could be in a time period now where Coherent chops down a little bit, gets back down to the even the high 280s, or 200s rather, 280, 290, and that could be where buyers start coming in again. Just my opinion. So ARM Holdings also reported. Let's see here, guys. Let me get some water. By the way, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 100K subs. Cheers, guys. So ARM Holdings reported earnings, and their stock, look, it was up a lot heading into the print. We were up to 237 at close, 13% Green Day, by the way, today. It popped to 268. So initially the stock went up 13% after earnings. Now it's down to 220. So we're down about, what, 6-7%? Not that much, actually. I'm lying. Actually, no, 6-7%. Yeah. So, man, they reported 60 cents EPS that beat the 58. Okay, adjusted by the way, on sales of 1.49 to 1 point, or versus that 1.47 billion. So double beat for this company, and they raised their guidance. It looks like they see adjusted EPS of 36 to 44 cents for Q1 versus the 36 cents on sales of 1.25 to 1.26 versus $1.25 billion. And the stock saw the pump, and it reversed all the way down. That tells me, okay, maybe something happened during the earnings call that I'm missing. I have not listened to ARM Holdings earnings call, guys, but that's the reaction here. And overall, I think it's a little overbought, so I'm not really getting into this one yet. I think I kind of missed it, to be honest. I called it out here a couple months ago. It ripped. No need to chase it if I missed it personally, which I did. So Dutch Bros, even though I called it out, I missed it, guys. That's how it goes sometimes. Dutch Bros reported, and their stock's down 2%, or $2 rather. Percentage-wise, they're down about 3%. So they reported earnings per share. Let's see if I could find it. Adjusted EPS, 16 cents, in line with estimates on revenue of $464 million versus $449 million. So double beat. And no, inline EPS, beat on sales, and they raised their sales guidance from 2 to 2.03 billion, now to 2.05 to 2.08 billion. That's above the estimate. So Dutch Bros, not too bad there, pretty good guidance. And even though it's pulling back a bit, not much, but a little bit after earnings here, it's still well within the uptrend, the reversal. You guys see it. So Dutch Bros, I like it. I like the trend here. Overall, it's trying to reverse, but then again, if you're looking at the overall trend, I mean, look, it's trying to reverse the last 2-3 weeks, but the overall trend, we have a big resistance right where we're at 60, 65 a share. Watch out for that. Let's see. AppLovin reported earnings. Their stock's up around $8. Let's see here. We popped actually at 50 or 524 rather, then down to 444, back up to 500, now down to 476. Man, talk about volatility here, guys. I don't know what's going on, but it's got to be with that earnings call. Let's see the headline numbers for AppLovin. $3.56 EPS. That beat the 338 on sales of 1.84 versus 1.76 billion, double beat. And they see Q2 sales of 1.91 to about 1.945 billion versus 1.89 billion. So good guidance there, and again, a double beat. Man, these companies are doing well. And this chart looks interesting. Kind of reminds me of Uber's chart a little bit. You guys see the head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders on AppLovin. Look at Uber's chart. Looks very similar, and it's starting to break out now. So I think something similar could happen on AppLovin, especially after those earnings. So keep your eyes on, let's say, about 520. If that could break, guys, 520, man, this thing is going to rip, in my opinion. So let's see two more here, guys. Two more. We got Snapchat, which historically, they're notorious for going down a lot. Let's see if I can find the keys here. I can't freaking... sometimes I hit the wrong key. I haven't memorized my keyboard yet, guys. Sometimes I think I have, then I'm hitting the A instead of the S, like an idiot. But Snapchat here, it went... Oh, man, it went... Oh, come on, Snapchat. Oh, come on. It went down a lot here. What else is new? This thing's down 10% roughly after the bell. This stock hit $3. You know, they're desperate, man. They're desperate right now to monetize. It's at a point where Snapchat probably is going to go, I don't want to say they're going to go under. They're probably going to get bought out. I mean, most likely they get bought out or they go under. Who knows? But Snapchat, man, their stock is dying. The company is just, it's so hard to monetize. Now they're charging, I heard, for memories, you know, all your, all the pictures, the videos you have over time on Snapchat. That was a key feature that you can just, see your memories, whatever. Apple does that, by the way, now, completely cooking and torching Snapchat's strategy there. So that's not good for Snapchat. Apple's got that now. They've had it for a little bit, but they're charging for that now. Snapchat is. So it's, they're doing anything. They're grasping at straws, and eventually I don't think they're going to be around much longer, or they get bought out. I think it's going to happen. I've been saying that for a while. This stock, every time they report earnings, it feels like it tanks. It's almost automatic. Not every time, obviously, but this time it's one of those times, and I'm not surprised. So it looks like they reported they have, let's see, they lost 5 cents EPS. Okay, they beat that loss of 7 cents expected on sales of 1.52 to 1 versus the 1.52 billion. Not bad, pretty much in line. Revenue-wise, slight beat and a beat on EPS, but again, they're 856 million global monthly active users, up 5%. I mean, yeah, that's good, but it's hard to monetize the platform, and that's why they've been losing money. They've been struggling, and the people on that platform are what? 12 to 22-year-olds. That's one of the worst demographics, I feel like, for monetization, in my opinion. And Snapchat is just a thing of the past almost. At least it is for a lot of people, and it's the younger people clinging on, but once they grow up and move on, it depends. Are the younger people using Snapchat? The 5 to 10-year-olds? I hope not. Jeez, I really hope not. So if these kids grow up, right, and Snapchat doesn't get through to that younger generation, it's probably going to be like a MySpace type deal. It's coming. It's coming, in my opinion. It's been a long time coming. So let's do one more quickly, guys. Kratos Defense, they reported earnings. Their stock is, let's see here, pretty much break even. It popped a little bit initially. They reported earnings per share of, let's see here, where can I find it? Adjusted EPS, 16 cents. That beat the 13 cents. Not bad. $371 million in sales versus 339. That beat as well. And they raised their guidance. They see Q2 sales of 400 to 410 million versus 409. Not bad. So Kratos Defense is down a lot recently. The trend's broken. I was watching it here back in March, and for obvious reasons. I mean, look, they've been rotating out of energy stocks. A lot of these, defense stocks, maybe not everyone, but you've seen that trend break a little bit, and it's really broken in Kratos Defense as we're seeing tech starting to resurge. It has been. We're at all-time highs thanks to tech stocks. And it's funny, 2-3 months ago, people were like, oh, the AI trade, the tech trade, avoid it, go international, emerging market, the U.S. market's done, don't buy Mag 7, focus on other stocks. And here we are now. It's like, Mag 7's ripping for the most part. Maybe Tesla, Meta. I guess, maybe half the Mag 7's not doing as well. But, guys, a lot of the tech stocks for the most part, most of Mag 7 is ripping. All these AI stocks are going. The point is, people were saying the AI trade is over. Get out. Get out of Mag 7. Get out of all these other, chip stocks, AI names that benefit from the trade. And that couldn't have been further from the truth considering where we are now. So, man, what a day. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. And check out the Patreon. If you want to keep up with my portfolio updates, my private Discord, all of that, it's on Patreon. Linked in the comments, link down below, or go to stasserfest.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you all in the next video.